Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to my house. Let me clean up a little bit. Oh, wait, I'm actually gonna need that. I need this. Not yet though. So with so many different options out there to make thumbnails, which software is the best? I have no idea. In this video though, we're going to be exploring Lunacy, which you can use to create thumbnails as well as channel art and various other things. You're going to follow me through the creative process as I go and design a thumbnail, or maybe you're not because you click off of this video. Hopefully you stick around though, because I'm excited that you're here. If this is your first time here, my name's Ray. I make videos helping out creative entrepreneurs. If that describes you, hit that subscribe button down there. And now, let's get into this. Lunacy is an app that I've been using for the last month or so, and I've completely fallen in love with it. If you don't know anything about Lunacy, it is a free version of Sketch, which is an app on Mac, but the difference is that Lunacy is on Windows, and it's free, and Sketch is on Mac. And it's not free. I am going to assume that you have all your assets gathered. I do need to prep my thumbnail real quick, and then we'll get into it. These are thumbnail pictures that we took the other day, and we narrowed it down to 2 different ones. I'm gonna review them and see which one I like better, and then I'm going to completely remove the background. So there's the first picture, and then there's the second picture. I kind of like this one a little bit better, so we're gonna go with this one. So one of the first questions that you're probably going to ask yourself is, why am I not designing everything in GIMP? And the answer is actually really, really simple. I love GIMP, but if you want to make any adjustments, if you want to change the text, or if you want to do anything that changes your initial design, you have to go through a lot of extra work to do it. And I don't have patience for that, especially when there's a program that's going to do everything for me. I know there's online tools like Canva and maybe even a few others that actually remove the background for you using AI. The problem with those is that they're not entirely accurate, and sometimes I'm missing my shirt or something else after I've done some removals, so it's just not worth it in the end for me. I would much rather have complete control, even if it takes me a little bit of extra time just to get it done. Opening up Lunacy right here, you can see that I've already set up multiple different thumbnails. And what we're gonna do is create a brand new one. So when I'm creating this thumbnail, I'm following a couple of rules. Number one, I wanna keep it as simple as possible. I don't want it to be too busy. I don't want a bunch of stuff going on in the background that's distracting from the foreground, and then you can't really see what's going on or even tell what it's about. Also, in some cases, I am going to use text. In other cases, I might not use text. It really depends. If you can make the text visible, that's what's going to be the most important thing. Otherwise, there's no point in having text on there. You also want to make sure that you're not repeating your title in the thumbnail. Like, it just doesn't make sense. As far as people, sometimes I'll have people in my thumbnails. I prefer to put people in my thumbnails. I like to show expressions. I feel like that it conveys a lot of emotion, and people are drawn to emotions. People can connect with people. That's why I keep people in my thumbnails. So I'm going to create a new art space or an artboard right here. All you have to do is click this icon up here, and then I am gonna do a 1920 by 1080, which is just a full HD image. And instantly what it does is it zooms me right in onto it. I'm gonna name this just so it makes it easier. Mac and Cheese Part 2. Also, what I'm gonna do is load in some of the images that I've already taken care of. So I can click this image link right here, which will open it up, or I can just drag my assets directly in, which is what I'm gonna do in this case. I have the macaroni right here, which is gonna be my background, and then I have the thumbs down, which I just did. So let's drag that in here. First thing I wanna do is I want to shrink this down. Shrink it down to about there. I do want to change the background of this, so I clicked over here on the name, and I'm gonna just change this to black for right now. And then right about here, as far as the macaroni, actually I have to find it. Where's my macaroni? There it is. So this is actually gonna be my background. Drag this down and it instantly becomes a background. So this actually works in layers, which is really, really useful. As far as this, we're gonna shrink it down just a little bit, probably to about here. Yeah, right about there looks good. Next thing that I want to do is actually add a shadow to me and Tara. So over here on the right side, as long as you have this selected, you're going to click the plus next to shadows. I'm going to drag this down to black because it always starts off in the middle at 80-80-80 for the hex. I prefer complete blackness, which will just be 0 across the board. As you can see down here, what we're going to do is decrease the X a little bit so it comes out to the left side. I prefer keeping my shadows to the left side. The reason is because usually the light, as you can see in my forehead here, is coming from this direction right here. I do want to blur this quite a bit, not as heavy. And something like that actually looks great, so I'm going to keep it the way it is. I do actually want to bring this up a little bit more just so you can see her thumb. Let's see what I can do for the text. Tap on the text button and we'll just click right here. First, let's make it bigger because I can't see. And in all caps, I'll put mac and cheese. I'm going to go with the usual fall to for this, which is going to be the bibis nu. Following this, we have mac and cheese. Obviously, we need to change the color. You can change the text color up here, or we can go to fills. I'm gonna go to fills because I wanna create a nice gradient behind this. So initially I'm gonna click up this button, and then I'm gonna swing this around to the right side. I want the top color to be a golden type of color. And the top is gonna be pure white, which it is. And then just bring this down a little bit. So it kind of, I don't know, I like the yellow and orange gradient, kind of like how I have over here. It makes it stand out a little bit better. Obviously the contrast here isn't that great, so what I can do is add a border. We'll click on the border here. Again, I'm gonna drag it down to black, and then increase this. I'll probably put it at about 7 actually. 7 looks great, so I'm gonna keep 7. Try and put it here. I don't really want to cover up our faces, but at the same time I want to make sure that the words are visible and you can see them. Cool, so I have the mac and cheese here, and I definitely like this. I do however want to add a shadow onto this as well. Going down to shadows, drop this down to black as usual. Okay, and then same thing, we'll just drag it a little bit to the left and a little bit down, and then blur it up just a little bit. I just want it to stand out more from what's going on in the background. That's the only reason why I have that there. I think what I'm gonna do is add another word. I'm gonna add best to this. Let's see if maybe I can use another font. This time I'm gonna do Oswald. I love Oswald. Oswald is like one of my favorite fonts of all time. Go to bold. And this is too big. I don't want it to be bigger than my text. So I'm gonna drop this down to, let's say 250. Another thing is the text not really standing out as a black, so I'm gonna change this to white, and then also add another border onto this. Again, drop it down to black. Add a shadow to it. Also, again, black. Decrease this to the left a little. Obviously, if I put it here, like, you're not going to be able to see. Let me drag this down just a bit. See how this looks. Cool. So I actually really like this. One thing that you're going to notice initially is that down here you have this gap. So there's a way that we can actually work around this. I am going to add in a rectangle right here. We're gonna put another gradient fill in this. Select both of them, drag this over here. I know, it's black, it's not a gradient, that's fine. Other way around. So drag this to the right to make it transparent, flip this. And obviously we do not want this over the text. So something like this looks pretty good. It helps the text stand out, so that's another huge benefit right there. We can add some question marks. Let's do that. This needs to be a lot bigger. Let's say... This color, I'm gonna make black. And I'm gonna put a white outline. And what we can do is duplicate that. And then let's duplicate it one more time. Something like that looks good. So what I'm going to do is select all of these, and then I am going to group them all together. And then what I can do is just rotate it a little bit. I'm going to drag it down to about here. Drag the mac and cheese over just a tad. Drag the best up just a little bit. And there. Oh, one thing I can do with this is add a shadow. Why? Because I've added shadows to everything else. Might as well do this too. There we go. Something like that looks good. Awesome. So there is actually one really important thing that I wanted to cover. When you upload to YouTube or Facebook or whatever, you're gonna lose a lot of saturation. In order to counteract that, what you wanna do is increase the saturation to a ridiculous level. I'm gonna increase it by 25%. Yes, that is way overboard for a normal picture, but in this case, it is actually gonna work out in our favor. Same thing with the background. So image adjust, go to saturation, 25, looks good. We're looking like Oompa Loompas swimming around in a bowl of mac and cheese. However, that is not going to be the case. Once it's uploaded, it will look a lot different. Make sure that you have mac and cheese selected, like the main title of it. Go to the plus sign for the exports, and then you can choose either PNG or JPG. PNG usually is a lot better of quality. However, the image sizes are also a lot higher, and the maximum that you can upload to YouTube for your thumbnail is going to be 2 megabytes. PNG unfortunately sometimes pushes over that, so it's probably going to be safer to go with JPG in this case. Hit export, hit save, and then here we go. So there you go, it's pretty straightforward to create a thumbnail in Lunacy. Now, is it the best app to make thumbnails in? I still don't know. It could be. Is it the easiest? It's definitely up there. Obviously, you need to prep your images ahead of time if you're gonna use those images, but that aside, I mean, it's pretty easy to use. So there you go. If you like content like this, make sure that you do hit subscribe. I'm noticing that a lot of people watch my channel without actually subscribing. Don't forget to smash that like button. If you got value out of this, of course, share it with a friend if you think it'll help. And until next time, I'll catch you later.